Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, when God began to create the heavens and the earth had no form and was void. Darkness was over the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness night. There was evening, and there was morning, the first day. God said, "Let there be a firm ceiling between the waters, and let it separate waters from waters." So God made the ceiling and separated the waters below it from the waters above it. And so it was. God called the firm ceiling sky. There was evening and there was morning, the second day. God said, "Let the waters below the sky be gathered together in one place, and let dry land appear." And so it was. God called the dry land earth, and the waters gathered together He called seas. God saw that it was good. God said, "Let the earth produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, fruit trees bearing fruit with seed, each according to its kind, upon the earth." And so it was. The earth produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kind, and trees producing fruit, which was seed, according to their kind. God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, the third day. God said, "Let there be lights in the ceiling of the sky, to separate day from night, and to serve as signs for the seasons, days and years. And let these lights in the sky shine above the earth." And so it was. God therefore made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the smaller light to govern the night. And God made the stars as well. God placed them in the ceiling of the sky, to give light on the earth, and to separate the light from the darkness. God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, the fourth day. God said, "Let the water teem with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth under the ceiling of the sky." God created the great monsters of the sea, and all living animals, those that teem in the waters, according to their kind, and every winged bird according to its kind. God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the waters of the sea, and let the birds increase on the earth." There was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. God said, "Let the earth produce living animals according to their kind, cattle, creatures that move along the ground, wild animals according to their kind." So it was. God created the wild animals according to their kind, and everything that creeps along the ground according to its kind. God saw that it was good. God said, "Let us make man in our image, to our likeness. Let them rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, over the wild animals, and over all creeping things that crawl along the ground." So God created man in His image. In the image of God He created him. Male and female He created them. God blessed them and said to them, Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the sky, over every living creature that moves on the ground. God said, I have given you every seed-bearing plant which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree that bears fruit with seed. It will be for your food. To every wild animal, to every bird of the sky, to everything that creeps along the ground, to everything that has the breath of life, I give every green plant for food. So it was. God saw all that He had made, and it was very good. There was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Genesis chapter 2. That was the way the sky and earth were created, and all their vast array. By the seventh day, the work God had done was completed, and He rested on the seventh day from all the work He had done. And God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on that day He rested from all the work He had done in His creation. These are the successive steps in the creation of the heavens and the earth. On the day that Yahweh God made the earth and the heavens, there was not yet on the earth any shrub of the fields, nor had any plant yet sprung up, for Yahweh God had not made it rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the earth. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the surface of the earth. Then Yahweh God formed man, dust drawn from the clay, and breathed into his nostrils a breath of life, and man became alive with breath. God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there He placed man whom He had created. Yahweh God caused to grow from the ground every kind of tree that is pleasing to see and good to eat, also the tree of life in the middle of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed from Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided to form 4 main streams. The name of the first river is Pishon. It is the one that flows around all the country of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that country is good. Bdellium and onyx stone are there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one that flows around all the land of Cush. The name of the third river is Tigris. It is the one that flows to the east of Assyria. The fourth river is the Euphrates. Yahweh God took man and placed him in the Garden of Eden to till it and take care of it. Then Yahweh God gave an order to man, saying, You may eat of every tree in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you will not eat, for on the day you eat of it, you will die. Yahweh God said, It is not good for man to be alone. I will give him a helper who will be like him. Then Yahweh God formed from the earth all the beasts of the field and all the birds of the air, and brought them to man to see what he would call them. And whatever man called every living creature, that was its name. So man gave names to all the cattle, the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. But he did not find among them a helper like himself. Then Yahweh God caused a deep sleep to come over man, and he fell asleep. He took one of his ribs and filled its place with flesh. The rib that Yahweh God had taken from man, he formed into a woman and brought her to the man. The man then said, "Now this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken from man." That is why man leaves his father and mother and is attached to his wife, and with her becomes one flesh. Both the man and his wife were naked and were not ashamed. Genesis chapter 3. Now the serpent was the most crafty of all the wild creatures that Yahweh God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say, 'You must not eat from any tree in the garden'?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat the fruit of the trees in the garden, but of the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, God said, 'You must not eat, and you must not touch it, or you will die.' The serpent said to the woman, 'You will not die, but God knows that the day you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like gods, knowing good and evil.' The woman saw that the fruit was good to eat, and pleasant to the eyes, and ideal for gaining knowledge. She took its fruit and ate it, and gave some to her husband, who was with her. He ate it. Then their eyes were opened, and both of them knew they were naked. So they sewed leaves of a fig tree together and made themselves loincloths. They heard the voice of Yahweh God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And they, the man and his wife, hid from Yahweh God among the trees of the garden. Yahweh God called the man, saying to him, "Where are you?" He said, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree I ordered you not to eat?" The man answered, "The woman you put with me gave me fruit from the tree, and I ate it." God said to the woman, "What have you done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Yahweh God said to the serpent, "Since you have done that, be cursed among all the cattle and wild beasts. You will crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life. I will make you enemies, you and the woman, your offspring and her offspring. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." To the woman, God said, "I will increase your suffering in childbearing, and you will give birth to your children in pain. You will be dependent on your husband, and he will lord it over you." To the man he said, "Because you have listened to your wife, and have eaten from the tree of which I forbade you to eat, cursed be the soil because of you. In suffering you will provide food for yourself from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorn and thistle for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. With sweat on your face you will eat your bread until you return to clay, since it was from clay that you were taken. For you are dust, and to dust you shall return." The man called his wife by the name of Eve, because she was the mother of all the living. Yahweh God made garments of skin for the man and his wife, and with these he clothed them. Then Yahweh God said, "Man has now become like one of us, making himself judge of good and evil. Let him not stretch out his hand to take and eat from the tree of life as well, and live forever." So God caused him from the Garden of Eden to till the soil from which he had been made. And after having driven the man out, God posted cherubim and a flaming sword that kept turning at the east of the Garden of Eden to guard the way to the tree of life. Genesis chapter 4. Adam had intercourse with Eve his wife. She became pregnant and gave birth to a child. She named him Cain, for she said, "I have got a man with help from Yahweh." She later gave birth to Abel, his brother. Abel was a shepherd and kept flocks, and Cain tilled their soil. It happened after a time that Cain brought fruits of the soil as an offering to Yahweh. Abel, for his part, brought the firstborn of his flock and some fat as well. Now Yahweh was well pleased with Abel and his offering, but towards Cain and his offering he showed no pleasure. This made Cain very angry and downcast. Then Yahweh said to Cain, "Why are you angry and downcast? If you do right, why do you not look up? But if you are not doing what is right, sin is lurking at the door. It is striving to get you, but you must control it." Cain said to his brother Abel, "Let's go to the fields." Once there, Cain turned his brother Abel and killed him. Yahweh said to Cain, "Where is your brother Abel?" He answered, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" Yahweh asked, "What have you done?" "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now be cursed and driven from the ground that has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood that your hand has shed. When you till the soil, it will no longer yield you its produce. You will be a fugitive wandering on the earth." Cain said to Yahweh, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. See, today you drive me from this land. I must hide from you and be a wanderer and a fugitive on the earth. And it will so happen that whoever meets me will kill me." Yahweh said to him, "Well then, whoever kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times. And Yahweh put a mark on Cain to prevent anyone who met him from killing him. Cain then went from Yahweh's presence and settled in the land of Nod to the east of Eden. Cain had intercourse with his wife. She conceived and gave birth to Enoch. As he was building a town, he called it by the name of his son Enoch. A son, Irad, was born to Enoch. Irad became father of Mehujael, and Mehujael of Methusael, and Methusael of Lamech. Lamech had 2 wives, Ada and Silla. Ada gave birth to Jabal. He was father to those who live in tents and keep flocks. His brother was Jubal. He was father to all those who play the lyre and flute. As for Zillah, she gave birth to Tubal-Cain, forger of all tools in bronze and iron. The sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. Lamech said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice, voice of Lamech, listen to what I say. For I killed a man for wounding me, and a boy for striking me. If Cain will be avenged 7 times, then Lamech 77 times. Adam again had intercourse with his wife, and she gave birth to a son, and named him Seth. For she said, Yahweh has given me another child in place of Abel, since Cain killed him. To Seth also a son was born, and he called him Enosh. At that time, people began to call on the name of Yahweh. Genesis chapter 5. This is the account of Adam's descendants. When God created Adam, He made him in the likeness of God. Male and female He created them. He blessed them and called them man on the day they were created. Adam was 130 years old when he became father of a son born in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. After the birth of Seth, Adam lived for 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived 930 years. Then he died. When Seth was 105, he became father of Enosh. After the birth of Enosh, Seth lived 807 years. He had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived 912 years. Then he died. When Enosh was 90 years old, he became the father of Canaan. After the birth of Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived 905 years. Then he died. When Canaan was 70 years old, he became father of Mahalalel. After the birth of Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Canaan lived 910 years. Then he died. When Mahalalel was 65, he became the father of Jared. After that, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had other sons and daughters. All the days of Mahalalel were 895 years. Then he died. When Jared was 162, he became father of Enoch. After the birth of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived 962 years. Then he died. When Enoch was 65, he became father of Methuselah. After the birth of Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In all, Enoch lived 365 years. After Enoch had walked with God, he disappeared because God took him up. When Methuselah was 187, he became father of Lamech. After the birth of Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In all, Methuselah lived 969 years. Then he died. Lamech was 182 when he became father of a son, and named him Noah, for he said, He will console us in the hard toil and suffering of our hands, because of the soil that was cursed by Yahweh. After the birth of Noah, Lamech lived 595 years, and he had other sons and daughters. In all, Lamech lived 777 years. Then he died. When Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis chapter 6. When people began to increase on the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that men's daughters were very beautiful, so they married those they chose. Yahweh then said, My spirit will not remain in man forever, for he is flesh. His span of life will be 120 years. At that time there were giants on the earth, and afterwards as well, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. These were the heroes of old, men of renown. Yahweh saw how great was the wickedness of man on the earth, and that evil was always the only thought of his heart. Yahweh regretted having created man on the earth, and his heart grieved. He said, I will destroy man whom I created, and blot him out from the face of the earth, as well as the beasts, creeping creatures and birds, for I am sorry I made them. But Noah was pleasing to God. This is the story of Noah. Noah was a just man, blameless among the people of his time, a man who walked with God. Noah became the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth became corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw the earth and saw it was corrupt, for corrupt indeed was the way of all mortals. Yahweh said to Noah, I have in mind to destroy all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. This is why I will destroy them, and with them the earth. As for you, build an ark of cypress wood. You will make rooms in the ark and coat it with pitch inside and outside. This is the way you will do it. The length of the ark 450 feet, the width 75 feet, the height 45 feet. You will put a roof on the ark and finish it within 18 inches from the top. Put a door in the side of the ark and have lower, middle, and upper decks. I am about to bring floodwaters on the earth to destroy the earth, destroy all life under the heavens, every creature that has the breath of life. Everything on earth will perish, but I will establish my covenant with you. You shall come into the ark, you, your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives with you. You shall bring into the ark 2 of every kind of living thing, male and female, to keep them alive with you. Of the birds, the animals, and all creeping things on the ground, according to their kind, 2 of every sort shall come in to be kept alive with you. Take with you every sort of food that is eaten. Make a store of it, and it will be food for you and them. And Noah did as God had commanded him. Genesis chapter 7. Yahweh said to Noah, "Go into the ark, you and all your household, for I see that you are just in this generation. Of all the clean animals, you are to take with you 7 of each kind, male and female, and a pair of unclean animals, a male and a female. In the same way, for the birds of the air, take 7 and 7, male and female, to keep their kind alive over all the earth. For in 7 days I will send rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. I will blot out from the face of the earth all the living creatures I have created." Noah did all as Yahweh had commanded. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters covered the earth. So Noah went into the ark with his children, his wife, and his sons' wives to escape the waters of the flood. Clean animals and also unclean, birds and all that crawls on the earth went into the ark with Noah. They went 2 and 2, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And after 7 days, the waters of the flood were over the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, and on the 7th day of the month, all the fountains of the great deep burst forth, and there was a downpour on the earth, lasting 40 days and 40 nights. On that same day, Noah went into the ark, as well as Shem, Ham, and Japheth, his sons, and his wife and his daughters-in-law. All the animals according to their kind also entered into the ark. All the cattle, all the creeping things that crawl on the earth, and all the birds according to their kind, all that flies and everything with wings. They came to Noah in the ark 2 by 2, all creatures that had the breath of life in them. And they that went in were male and female, just as God had commanded. Then Yahweh closed the door on Noah. The flood lasted for 40 days on the earth. The waters rose and lifted the ark and raised it above the earth. The waters rose and increased greatly on the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the waters. The water rose more and more above the